how's it going? And welcome to the Southern Trust. Today we're going to be talking about 5 things that I'm looking for when I'm in an attic. So we're going to go over these things, and you'll get a sneak peek at actually a couple things I did find. And yeah, you'll get a little peek into the life of an inspector. This whole video is actually shot in one attic. I hope you enjoy it, and there'll be a lot more of this content in the future. So here we go. 5 things that I look for when I'm going in an attic. 1, a leak, particularly at a boot. If you look closely over there, you can see that PVC pipe that actually goes through the roof line. Here in Florida, most of our plumbing is vented through the roof, and yeah, you may have a leak at one of those boots, and you probably wouldn't know it until it was really bad and it was wetting the ceiling in your bathroom, or causing a leak, you know, just below it, wherever it goes through the roof. So that is probably the #1 thing that I'm looking for up here in an attic, is actually going and taking a look and seeing, you know, is there a leak somewhere in the attic. And plumbing vent boots are going to be the #1 place that we're going to see those. So here's another item that we're going to be checking for. Now this one's not bad enough that I'm going to say anything about it in my report. However, a lot of times there will be issues with them from framing. So when the framers come in and put the house together, sometimes there's mending plates that get damaged, or a truss gets damaged when it's dropped off on the lot and it never gets fixed. It gets put up and you've got a damaged truss in your attic, and you wouldn't be any wiser to it if somebody didn't get up and take a hard look. If you look behind me, just above my head, you can actually see this mending plate here that was damaged. However, that damage is not significant, and it's not something that would warrant being reported. However, if that mending plate was damaged in such a way that one of the boards that are in it was loose, or the damage, you know, caused the mending plate to be separated from any of the other trusses, then that would be something that we would report, and it would definitely be something that you would want to get looked at by an engineer or a contractor to have it repaired, so that, you know, the structure of your house was completely sound. So #2. And speaking of damaged trusses, actually on my way out of this attic, I found a damaged truss. So let's take a look at it. Here you can see that this upright member of this truss was actually completely broken off at the time of installation, and it wasn't spliced or splinted or repaired in any way. And you can actually see that this truss goes all the way up and is actually supporting a large amount of weight. And yeah, that's something we definitely want to get repaired. So that will be dropping in the report as a structural issue. All right, #3 thing that you're going to be looking for in an attic is venting. So we're going to make sure that any bathroom vents, any kitchen vents, or any other kind of vents that come into the attic are actually vented to the exterior. So they should either be vented to the ridge vent, or through the roof, or to the soffit. And I'm actually going to turn my phone around here in just a second. I'm going to give you an example of a vent that is not properly vented, that's actually venting up into the attic and not to the exterior. So if you look right there, you can see that silver canister, and if I'm quiet, you can hear that fan blowing. Well, that fan is actually blowing into the attic, and for that fan to be properly vented, there should be a duct attached to the end of it, and it should just turn right over and make an L and go right over here to the soffit, and then it wouldn't be a problem. But right now it's actually venting into the attic, which is a problem because you have cold air coming into it if you're cooling the air, or hot air if it's heating on the inside, which can cause condensation and cause other problems. So we want to make sure that that air is not coming into the attic space, which is unconditioned and is either hot or cold, but we want it going to the soffit, or going out through the roof, or going through the ridge vent, so that we're not causing any additional issues with the house. #4, your ductwork. So let's take a look at ductwork. Here we've got an example of some air conditioning ductwork coming up through the attic, and here in Florida we've got probably 95% of our ductwork is in the attics. And this ductwork is in really good condition, so there's really not a whole lot to say about it. I won't be saying anything about it in my report. However, if you've got issues where maybe a duct has been knocked loose and you're wasting air conditioning or heat into the attic space, or you got an older house and your ductwork is deteriorated or it's been damaged by rodents, then that's something that we're going to be taking a look at and trying to let you know if any of those items need to be repaired or addressed, or maybe even the ductwork needs to be replaced. So this is just one more example of something we're looking for in the attic. Number 5, insulation. One more thing that we're looking for here in an attic. So we're going to make sure that the house has sufficient insulation, that there's not areas where insulation has been damaged, or any batt insulation that may be on a upright wall where the insulation has been pulled down or damaged or fallen since it's been installed. Sometimes we'll even go through the house with infrared and check particularly those upright walls to make sure there's no areas where there's leaking cold air or hot air. And it's getting hot up here and I'm about to get out, so yeah. And here we've actually got a little bit of damaged batt insulation, a little bit of insulation that's kind of fallen away from the wall. And so we've got gaps here where that hot air can get into the house. So we want to make sure that somebody gets up here and reattaches that insulation properly so that it is doing its job and keeping hot and cold air out of the house. Hope you enjoyed this video of the 5 things that we're looking for as inspectors up in an attic. Maybe next time we'll hit a few other things that we look for in an attic on a not so hot day. We appreciate you watching our channel. If you haven't had a chance, like and subscribe, and make sure you click the notification bell so that you know when we put up a new video. Thanks so much for watching the Southern Trust, and we'll see you next time.